Hi guys, there's an old saying, a bad workman blames his tools. Well, a bad politician blames the media. And that's exactly what former Tory turned Reform UK candidate Andrea Jenkyns did in this clip that she posted on social media. The ex-MP complained here about how she was treated differently to the Conservatives by the BBC, then attacked the Tories for talking about her not living in the constituency, and finally about how the left are spreading lies and misinformation about the Reform candidate. Is Andrea preparing her grievances now so that if she loses, she knows who to blame? Have a listen.
Now, I've just done an interview with Look North, which is the BBC, and I'm actually flabbergasted. Now, where they interviewed the Conservative candidate last week, they're going to interview all candidates. It was fair and balanced, quite a relaxed interview, and oh my God, it was a Q&A, short fire questions at me, trying to make out I'm a career politician, even though I had a career right up to my late 30s before I got into politics.
You are a career politician. You want to become a politician once again. You were an MP for a number of years. You were kicked out at the last election, and now you want to be the mayor of a city. What other way can we describe you than being a career politician? You were a politician. You decided, I'm not going to go back into having a real job. I want to be a politician again. What else can we describe you as? Now, notice at the beginning as well, attacking the BBC. This is a big mistake. Politicians blaming the media does not win them any support. Now, people within Reform UK will love this, but the general public don't like politicians complaining about the media. Is the media a problem? Yes, I constantly talk about the problems of the media. But that's for commentators to do, not for politicians. Politicians should not be complaining about journalists. They should not be complaining about the media. It comes across as extremely weak.
But the interview is appalling. And it doesn't surprise me, though, because I've been told today that the BBC have been phoning around candidates, trying to stir up things and get them to comment about me and Reform. And
what evidence do you have? What she's doing is she's putting out allegations against the BBC with no evidence. That's a serious claim. What evidence do you have that the BBC are trying to stir up controversy towards you or against you? Like, first of all, you start off by complaining that the BBC didn't treat you with respect. And now you're claiming that the BBC have something, are trying to call up other politicians to, have some dirt on you or something. That's a serious allegation.
And I'd like to put the record straight with a few things. There's some social media accounts there who, in the last few days, have been actually quite libelous, saying some libelous things, such as that I'm lying on the electoral forms, what I submitted to stand for office. What lies? I meet the criteria.
Grievance politics. Everyone's out for me. Everyone's out to get me. Everyone has it in for me. What accounts are you talking about? Why don't you name these accounts? But she's not doing that. She's just talking about random accounts are making libelous claims against me. Why don't you sue these accounts if that's the case?
I checked with the council to begin with, and then you've got the Conservative candidate who is making out I've got no links to Lincolnshire whatsoever, even though he's known me for 15 years, even from when we was councillors in Lincolnshire. And what this social...
Do you live in the constituency? I don't know if she lives in the constituency, and I think that's a legitimate question. Do you have connections to this constituency? Are you living there? Because if you want to be the mayor of that constituency, of that city or that region, I think it's important that you live there. If you don't, I don't know if Andrea Jenkyns lives there or not, but if you don't live there, that's a serious problem, no? How are you supposed to understand the problems of the people if you don't live in that constituency, if you don't live in that city, if you're commuting? This is a big problem. A lot of carpetbaggers, people who are parachuted into constituencies to win a seat, because of their name recognition or because it's a safe seat and they're handed this as some sort of gift. That's the serious problem, because these people don't have any connection to the constituency. They don't have an understanding of the problems in that constituency. And how are they supposed to do the best they can for those people if they don't understand what the people are going through?
Social media account did yesterday. They put it out there where I live with my young child, and that is wrong.
Why would it be wrong to put out the address of a politician? Honestly, what is the problem with that? If you are running for public office and your address is not in the constituency, I'm not supporting the idea of doxing people. I'm talking about if you do not live in the constituency, that's a problem. So if somebody's putting out your address, you have not said, these people are putting out my address to dox me. They're putting out my address to show that I don't live in the constituency, I presume.
7 death threats over the years, and I have CCTV, and all this vitriol, this political game playing, enough is enough. If you can't play fair and win in a fair way, then you shouldn't be in politics. So you're not going to intimidate me. I'm going to continue fighting, because I'm fighting for the people of Greater Lincolnshire. I'm going to ensure that they've got a strong voice. And do you know something? To Conservatives out there, to the left wing out there, you're not going to intimidate me.
What was the point of this message? So first of all, complaining about the media, complaining about journalists, complaining about the BBC. They're not giving me a fair airing. Then she suggests that they're working, and this is a serious claim, that the BBC is working against Andrea Jenkyns, trying to undermine her in some way by, asking other candidates questions about Andrea Jenkyns. You have no evidence to back up that claim. Then, well, there are accounts that I'm not going to name which are trying to undermine me as well. And there are Conservatives who are claiming that I have no connections to the constituency. Now, Andrea has not debunked any of these things. She has not said, I actually live in the constituency, here is my address, or any of this information. It's all grievance politics. Everyone is against me. And as I said at the beginning, I think the goal here is to get her ducks in a row, to get the grievances prepared, so that if she does lose, she says, it's nothing to do with Reform UK, it's nothing to do with my policies, nothing to do with me being a career politician. It's all the fault of the media or the Conservatives or the left wing. She did it before. She's going to do it again. These are not serious policies. Notice here, she did not mention one policy. She had a clip here, an opportunity to speak to the people of that constituency and say, look, I want to be your mayor because I'm going to fix this problem or fix that problem. I'm going to improve public services. I'm going to focus on social care. I'm going to do... She had an opportunity to do that. No, she put out a clip where she's complaining. People don't want this. I'm not saying that she's not going to win. Maybe people are very angry with the Labour government at the moment and they're willing to vote for reform. Some people are. But this is not who you want as a mayor. Somebody who's just going to be crying all the time.